Thanks for joining today, guys. We're going to be talking about consumer databases and how to opt out of those consumer databases. So these companies don't share your information with Experian, Equifax, or Transunion. These companies house a lot of data about us. What they do is they collect data about consumers and they share that data, and we don't want them to share our data. They probably have more data about you than you have about you. So one thing to keep in mind is if these companies have negative data about you, you want to dispute that just like you would with Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, because all of these companies are data companies except TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Those are the three major companies. Those are the three major companies that are used for our credit score and our credit reports. But all of these places are consumer data companies. So what I have done is put their website here so you can easily go to their website and either do it right on their website, or you can mail in the request to have your information opted out. So you'll notice that there's quite a few different companies, but what we want to do is just focus on the companies that are highlighted in teal. Those are the most important companies. So if you see right here, it says the ones in teal are highlighted because they are the most important. So make sure that you read everything. A lot of people miss stuff because they don't read. So we definitely want to make sure that we are reading all of the information. And if you need to schedule a consultation with me or a session with me, please feel free to do so. You will find my calendar link throughout the program. So if you need additional assistance, you can schedule a session with me. So let's start with Advanced Resolution Service. They are better known as ARS. You just click on this link right here, and it's in the notes area, it will tell you what they kind of specialize in. So right here, you see that they're known for housing a lot of data about inquiries and bankruptcies. So if you're dealing with either one of those, you definitely want to make sure that you freeze it. So we'll click on their link. It'll take us right to that company's website. And it looks like with this company, you know, they only offer for you to freeze your security information, which is perfectly fine. So you can add a freeze, you can suspend a freeze, or you can remove or reapply a freeze, right? Generally, these freezes are good for 5 years. So just double check with the different companies. So you just click on add a freeze. There's going to be two terms that are used: freeze and opt out. Unfortunately, they try to make it difficult, but we're just going to opt out if available. If not, then we're going to freeze it. So what you want to do is just put in all of your information until you complete it. If they need additional information, they will let you know. Sometimes they're not able to do everything online, and you have to send them in your proof of identification, but that's just as needed. So just go through the process of putting in your information and freezing your data. That is for Advanced Resolution Services. You'll notice I have a sum here that are highlighted in yellow, and those companies report banking history. So for example, check systems. When you go to open up a bank account with, say, Bank of America, Chase, some of your well-known banks, they're going to be using check systems, and this reports your banking history. So credit reports or credit reporting agencies don't necessarily use check systems. This is primarily for banks when you're opening up a checking or a savings account. So if you do have issues in opening up accounts, you definitely want to see what's on your report. So if you click on this website right here, it'll take you right to the check systems website where you can get your report. You can request your report. You can freeze your report. I do recommend, if you're having any type of issues getting bank accounts, you request your report and see what's on there, because a lot of times identity theft happens or information gets reported onto people's reports that have similar information. So you just want to make sure that everything on there is in fact yours. And if you do have negative things that belong to you, sometimes it's better just to clear those things up so you are not prevented from opening up bank accounts. So you can dispute it with this address right here. You just do the same type of dispute letters that you would to the credit bureaus themselves, because they all fall under the FCRA. Right here, it even says they are all under the FCRA. So that's a prime example. So that's for check systems. The next one highlighted in yellow is early warning system. So if you go to their website, some banks like Navy Federal, they'll use early warning. So you want to just go to their website and you can request your consumer report right here and see if you have negative information on there. And I believe you have to mail in something with them. So yeah, here is the form that you need to fill out so you can request your consumer report. Now, the next one that's highlighted in teal, this is Clarity Service. So this is owned by Experian, and they have a lot of information about personal loans, rent-to-own applications, consumers with thin credit files, and a lot of store credit cards. So if you just click on the link, it'll take you right to the application for you to request. Oh, sometimes, you know, pages do change. So I try to keep this up to date as much as possible. But if you do come to a page that could not be found, just go to their main website and you can find the link, because a lot of times they will change the links and things do change. So here is the pre-screen opt-out form. You definitely want to make sure that you are filling this out and getting this submitted in. There's all of their information. So anything that's owned by a credit bureau, you definitely want to have your information frozen with them. And you can also request your report with these folks. So you definitely want to do that. Request your clarity report, request your credit score. You don't necessarily need that from them. You can also put a security freeze. There's two options here, opt out and security freeze. I would do both of those options if they're available, because you don't want your information shared at all. Opting out right here, it says if you prefer, you can opt in or opt out of unsolicited offers via of credit cards via mail or fax. So you'll see these come into your mailbox as soon as your credit hits about a 600. You'll see a lot of offers from Capital One and all of these different credit card companies saying that you've been pre-approved. Those do count as a soft credit pull. So you don't see them, but you also don't want these people pulling your credit. So you want to opt out, and you don't want them being able to access, you know, your information. So that is for Clarity. CoreLogic, they do a lot of stuff with like evictions, child support, rental applications, criminal records, court records, things of that nature. So you definitely want to go to their website and make sure that you place, a lot of places will call it security freeze. So this happens to be a security freeze. Okay. So place the security freeze on there. With Clarity, you know, the previous link that I had was no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just replace it with the actual website link. So you guys can just go right to their website and opt out and freeze. So that's for Clarity. And then CoreLogic, we just went over that. Early warning, that again, that one is for banking history. And you want to make sure, like I said, that you are requesting your reports. So in case you have negative information that is being reported about you, you can get that cleared up, because while we're cleaning up our 3 major credit reports, we also want to make sure that our name is cleared up throughout all of these different companies, because when you opt out or freeze your records, generally it is only for a 5-year period unless you permanently opt out, which is a whole nother step. So just be mindful of that. They will send you confirmation in the mail. They'll send you a PIN number in the mail. So if you ever want to unfreeze your records, you most certainly can. But while you're cleaning things up and, getting your reports, in a better position, I would definitely recommend opting out and freezing all of the secondary bureaus. Keep in mind, creditors, banks, people who extend credit, they don't pull credit from these companies. The only companies that you need to keep open and to worry about when it comes to, what your actual credit report is Experian, Equifax, and Transunion. Those are the 3 major data companies that we want to keep open. Notice that those companies are not listed on this list because I do not recommend freezing Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian unless you've been a victim of fraud, because at this point we want to keep it open so we can clean your file up and also add positive lines of credit. So these are some other companies. Those are not so popular, but you can certainly opt out if you'd like and go to their website and do so. Number 12 you'll see is Innovis. And Innovis used to be the 4th credit bureau. They were really popular in the 90s. They were used for a lot of pre-approval offers from credit card companies, but they didn't have a credit score. So they fell off, and now it's just Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion as the most popular. So go to their website, fill out all your information. See here, there's different options here. You can request a security freeze. So in this case, Innovis would be a security freeze. So like I said before, some companies call it opting out. Some companies call it a security freeze. So it just depends on the company. So you will see notices like this. By submitting this form, you're requesting that we place a security freeze on your Innovis credit report, or that we perform an action to an existing security freeze. So they will send you a confirmation letter, so you will have that PIN number if you ever want to unfreeze it. But keep in mind, a lot of places do not pull your data from Innovis. You want to deal with companies that are pulling it directly from the 3 major bureaus. So back to our opt-out list here. The next 13 is Intellis. And once you go to the Intellis website, it'll just ask you to put in your information so you can this one opt out. So again, they just go by different terminologies, but it's the same same process. We just don't want them sharing our information. Number 14 is a very large data company. It's called Lexis Nexis. A lot of you may have heard of it. A lot of collection companies use it every time you place any type of like police report or some type of criminal report. Generally, it's done through the Lexis Nexis system. And, you can read through all of the different things that they report on. They're, a very large company, and, a lot of collection companies use them to track down people, skip tracing. They're, a very large company. So you definitely want to head over to their website and opt out of their database so they cannot share your information, and just go through the steps. Make sure that you do get that confirmation that your information has been opted out. And they're actually located in Dayton, Ohio. So if you need to mail anything, or if you need to submit any sort of opt-out request from any of these companies, I have kindly included their address on this spreadsheet. Sometimes it can be a little hard to read, but I am trying to zoom in for you guys so that way you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing here. So number 16 is the next large company, and that is called Opt-out Prescreen. Opt-out Prescreen, that's what I went over earlier. Sometimes these companies merge together, but You'll see here this is included with Innovis, but you just want to make sure that you do opt out because you don't want to get all of those offers in the mail. It's a lot of just junk mail, and honestly, when you do get those offers in the mail, it does not mean that you are really approved, and we don't want those inquiries from those companies. So just opt out of that, and it will prevent them from soft pulling your credit, which we definitely don't want them doing. And then number 18 on my list here is SageStream. SageStream is a fairly large data company as well. They deal with a lot of like top tier and second tier credit card issuers, auto lenders, credit card issuers, retailers, utilities, cell phone companies. So just head over to their website, and they are now owned by Lexis Nexis. So you just want to make sure, because since, you know, some of these companies do merge because, you know, for them, it would be, you know, I guess more cost efficient, but you just want to make sure that you, you know, are doing your due diligence and making sure that you request a freeze on everything until they merge into like one single company, because you'll notice the other Lexis Nexis address was in Ohio. This one is actually in Georgia. So you want to make sure that you are, you know, just dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's, making sure that your information is opted out or frozen, and they are no longer able to share it with anybody else until you say so. You want control. So those are all for the major, you know, data companies that we want to opt out of. Below here, I've included some employment databases and some tenant screening. You can check those out if you'd like, and you can freeze or opt out your information for as many of those companies that will allow you to do so. So this is the opt out. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@BayAreaCreditRepair.net, and we will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on the next lesson.